The stalker who wasn't there. They say paranoia is just another form of self-preservation. Maybe that's true. Or maybe it's just the mind's way of trying to explain the unexplainable. Either way, I've stopped trusting what I see, and more importantly, what I don't. It started gradually. I'd be walking home from work and feel eyes on me. Nothing specific. Just the uncomfortable sensation that someone was trailing a few steps behind, always just out of sight. The kind of feeling that tightens your stomach and makes you walk faster without realizing it. I'd glance over my shoulder and see nothing but empty sidewalks and passing cars. But the feeling never left. At first, I brushed it off. Everyone feels a little paranoid sometimes, especially in big cities. You read the news, see stories about people being followed, attacked, abducted. It messes with your head, so I adjusted my routine. Changed the times I left work, took different routes home, even wore a hoodie and cap some days to blend in. But the feeling persisted. Then came the noises, light footsteps behind me. A sudden shift in air, as if someone had ducked out of sight the moment I turned. Always behind, never close. Just close enough to keep me unsettled. I started looking for reflections in windows, glass doors, anything that might reveal someone in pursuit. But the mirrors never showed anyone but me. The footsteps would stop as soon as I stopped. The shadows would vanish the moment I acknowledged them. I told myself I was overreacting. Maybe I was working too hard. Stress-induced hallucinations, perhaps. But then I started finding things. The first was a matchbox from a restaurant I'd never been to, left neatly on the stoop outside my apartment. Inside were 2 cigarette butts, the same brand I smoked. The next week, I found an old photo of myself from college, tucked into the windshield wiper of my car. Not a copy, the original. It had been in a photo album in my parents' attic. That's when I stopped thinking it was all in my head. I set up cameras. My hallway, my front door, the back alley. I synced them all to my phone. Every night, I'd scrub through the footage. And every night, nothing. Until one day, I saw something, just for a second. A shadow ducking out of frame, blurry and fast. I paused it, zoomed in, and my blood went cold. The face, if you could call it that, was mine, not just similar. Identical. Same hair, same jacket, same scar above the eyebrow. I stared at that image for hours, trying to rationalize it. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe the camera had caught my reflection in some weird way. But it didn't explain how the figure was on the opposite side of the street, standing in a position I'd never been in. I didn't tell anyone. How could I? I'm being stalked by myself. Doesn't exactly make for a convincing case. But the fear was real. Tangible. I stopped sleeping. I stopped going out. My apartment became a bunker. Curtains drawn. Doors bolted. Phone off. But the stalker never let up. More objects began appearing. My old high school ID. My watch that had gone missing months ago. A note I'd written in a journal I lost years back. Everything was personal. Intimate. The kind of things only someone very close to me would know about. Or me. The paranoia evolved into obsession. I pulled every recording from every device. Built a wall in my living room full of printed screenshots, maps, times, weather conditions. I created timelines, patterns, tried to anticipate the next appearance. And for a while, I thought I was close. The appearances always happened on Tuesdays, late evening, between 10 and midnight. So one Tuesday, I waited. Lights off. Phone ready. I watched the camera feed like a hawk. And at 10:47 p.m., the motion sensor tripped. I clicked the feed. There it was. The figure, standing outside the building. Looking straight into the camera, my face. But this time, something was different. He moved. Slowly, towards the door. I could hear the buzz of the lobby intercom. Then silence. Then footsteps on the stairs. I grabbed a kitchen knife. My heart was pounding out of my chest. The footsteps got closer. I backed into the hallway, eyes on the front door. The knob turned. And then, nothing. Silence. No one came in. I crept forward, pulled the door open. The hallway was empty. But taped to the outside of my door was a printed photo. Me, asleep in bed. Timestamped the night before. That's when I left. Packed a bag and drove until I couldn't keep my eyes open. I stayed in motels, moved cities, changed my name. But the feeling followed. The eyes, the shadows, the sense of being watched. Then came the news. A story about a man arrested for stalking in another city. They showed his face briefly on the screen before it cut to commercial. It was me. Same features, same scar, same everything. But I've never been to that city. Now I don't know what's real anymore. Was it a long-lost twin? A doppelganger? A deep-fake prank taken to an extreme? Or something worse? I've stopped asking questions. I sleep with the lights on. I don't look in mirrors for too long. And every now and then, when I pass a store window or a pane of glass, I catch a glimpse of something behind me. A figure. Staring, waiting, always watching. And it's always me.